Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. James Spilling here. I'm so sorry to all you lovely subscribers out there. It's been almost a year since I last posted anything, so 1,000 apologies. Basically, what with cost of living being what it is, I took on far too much work that is humanly possible to do, and subsequently things like this and lovely content that I can get out to you guys suffered. And so I'm back. I've got everything back up and running. It took me a while to do it again because I'd forgotten how to do it. But I want to kick off today with one of my favourite production companies, Sonuscore, and they've released the Orchestra Complete 4. So I made a short track only using this, one track, one library vibes again. You can probably hear it in the background somewhere. There it is. So what I will do for you is very similar to what I did with the Orchestra Complete 3 when it came out. Link above if you want to go to that and hear the track that I did with that one. Basically, I will show you what's new. I'm not going to take you into a complete deep dive. Sonuscore do fabulous videos for that. But I'll show you what's new, and then I'll take you through how easy it is to get inspired to do an orchestration or a track or something. It's just one of my go-tos if you're stuck for ideas. Load this thing up. Let's go into the Orchestra Complete 4. Here we go. So folks, this is the Orchestra Complete 4. I've just loaded the NKI at the bottom here. Above here, you've got all your separate instruments, but this complete NKI is basically your orchestrator, your arpeggiator, your play some keys and you get magic. If you want the legacy versions, they're under the legacy file. But here we go. This is the 4. Just to very quickly show you what you do. You play some notes and it'll give you an orchestra. The complete one. Now, I haven't got the slowest computer in the world. It's not the best computer in the world. In fact, it's very old. But what I did find, did you hear that pop? I found that if I turn the reverb off, just this is while I'm sort of working, I don't think it'll pop anymore. Blah blah blah. No, so I'm going to lock that. So if you lock that reverb, it means that whatever extra goodies you put on, it's never going to change the reverb setting. So I just found that useful. That's my first tip. If you want to save on a little bit of CPU power, as I found that I needed, turn the global reverb off. So let's go back to the main page. As you can see, you've got 5 slots for instruments, and on this one you've got horns, strings, organs, and taiko. They are playing within their own respective octaves. For example, this organ is down an octave, this is down 2 octaves. If I want the taiko ensemble to be higher, I just and lower. Yeah, so again, that's very useful. You can personalize it to your own tastes. Then this section here is really where the orchestration as well continues. You can either have it nothing, or you follow arpeggiators, and you have 3 arpeggiators to choose from within your engine. 1, 2, 3. You see, these are all volumes, and these are all the notes. If you want to blah 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 blah. Now this is a mod wheel based instrument, so again, if you just go up and down, you will find that it follows volume. Now it's almost like you're the conductor here. So if I start low, I can just hear organs, but if I raise the mod wheel, fab. Let's put the taikos back down there. Yeah, so the mod wheel very much becomes part of your arranging tool as well. Again, the sustain notes follow envelopes if you want. They don't have to, but they can do. So the envelopes look like this. You can have a volume like that. You could go nuts with it if you really wanted. Well, hey, now this color thing up here, I am guessing it is the fortissimo setting, because everything from there is fine, but then as soon as we get to around, well, you can see the mod wheel up there, it changes color. Now I think that's the fortissimo setting. Please do comment if I'm wrong, because I couldn't see anything about it, but I'm guessing it's just warning you about, I'm loud, I can't be any more dynamic. Yeah, likewise, you see. Generally use an envelope for your sustains and arpeggiators for your patterns or your stacks or your staccatismos. You've got, this is new, you've got little octave jumps. You can just trigger these and they go up the octave. Let's go back to the organ. Put it up the octave. Normal. Up. What's this one? Yeah, so if you can't be bothered to go up an octave with your hand, you press that button. So another major thing that is new for the Orchestra Complete 4, very similar to what they did on the Pulse engine released recently. By the way, I will be doing a video on that, so stay tuned. Are these red key switches, and they are very much an arrangement tool giving you a structure of something. Now, the C0 here really very much is an intro. So it's favoring the strings. Now the next one, the D, is subject A. Sorry, that envelope is annoying me now. Let's try and smooth it off. You have to go a little bit slowly because it, at the minute, it's not liking me much. Okay, that'll do. So again, that's section A. If you go section B, is like the E0. So D. So can you see all those octave up buttons triggered for this one? And then F is like your ending. Just me playing a C. Now, in terms of the browser, the main change for this is this fabulous Forces of Fury at the bottom. On the previous Orchestra Completes, you had Strings of Winter, Horns of Hell, and Woods of the Wild. Now you've got Forces of Fury, which is very much, I presume, pointed at cinematic and trailer music, because it's all exciting. So let's go to the rescue. And obviously, just to point out, it follows your DAW's tempo. It just maps it very cleverly. And you've got all of these. I'm just playing C, by the way, because I'm really boring. So you get all of these. It's all fabulous. Oh, big strings. Let's spread it out a bit. Fab. So, if you come down here and you go to, as it were, the animated orchestra, which is the fun bit, you'll notice the KS at the end of these. Now, all of the KS, obviously, because of the new system, they will give you the song structures, the intro, subject A, subject B, and ending. In the old ones, Horns of Hell, for example, if you go to the animated orchestra, you don't get that, sadly. So, key switches. Fabulous, fabulous fun. Now, within the Forces of Fury, you get an awful lot of new instruments. Now, these are the main new instruments. Let's go to the strings. So, if you go up into the strings. So, in the previous orchestras, you had violins, ones, twos, violas, cellos, basses, and these high and low ensembles. Now, what's particularly new are these, right at the top, these high ensembles and low ensembles. They give you all of this fabulous stuff. So, for example, let's go all the articulations. So you get all of these, staccatissimo, sustain, marcato, flams. Let's do that, which is I believe an E flat. Yeah, staccatissimos, which is always fun. So they're velocity sensitive and all of that goodness. Sus extreme. Is it extreme? Oh, very extreme. It's dramatic. 16th falls. Oh, let's stabby. Here we go. Death in the shower. Sorry. Stravinsky's disgust. Yeah. Should I say it again? Stravinsky's staccatos. Love it. And a similar thing for the low ensembles. You get all your articulations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for some reason, I don't know why they haven't put the Stravinsky staccatos in, but let's put these separately. In fact, did they put them in? No, don't know why. Another thing you get, I think you get a couple of extra brass stuff, sort of horns and Forces of Fury war horns and things like that. Within the percussion is another huge new thing. In your unpitched, I think you had small percussion and big percussion already. Let's have a look. Yeah, so the Orchestra Complete 4, that's big percussion. Gone. All very small. Now, apart from the small and the big, you get all of these. So you get cinematic hits. Oh! Absolutely love. Bass drums, concert toms, big fan of this. Hits, little rolls, flam type things. Yeah, they're all fab. Metal drums, so deep hits I think were previous on Horns of Hell. I think metal drums. Tink, tink, tink. All great. Taikos. All types of deep. Lovely. Woods. Everything you need for a trailer track, really. So that's hugely lovely. Now, another one was pianos. Now, you had the piano, but now you've got things like piano chain accents and low piano accents, which is really fab. So these are basically putting a chain on the strings and just recording it. I love that one. That's a really great one to add to your evil brass and your low strings. Let's just go back to the Orchestra Complete 4. Just check that I haven't left anything out. So you can really personalize all of these things to your taste. So you can change, for example, you can change your instruments. I'm going to go a little bit nuts here. Let's go metal drum. So this is to tame the C thing. I'm going to go something else with flutes, twos, staccatissимos. Let's go choir, female. Let's have brass, horns, sustain. Why not? And then last one, unpitched woods. Let's see what that sounds like. Cute. Anyway, right, I think I'm going to show you what I did to make the track that you heard right at the beginning, and I'll show you how quick and easy it can be. The great thing about this, and I think I said it in my previous video about the Orchestra 3, and I think this is one of the main highlights of this, is that you don't have to use the sounds. I think this is one of those fabulous, inspiring instruments that can just get you going, and I'm going to hopefully prove that with what I did to this track. So I'm going to show you the track. Okay, folks, so as is with anything, I generally start with a chord chart of some description. So all I did was just laid in this rather naff chord chart using my easy keys, my old easy keys. And I put my chords up above and all of that. So then all I did was I loaded up my Orchestra Complete 4. I dragged the piano reel down into the next instrument. In fact, let's get rid of that. And as you can see from my MIDI editor, just load this up. I elongated some of the notes rather to make it so clunky, and I loaded up the first one that I liked the sound of just very quickly to the rescue. I think we played it earlier. And this is what we ended up with. If I go down, you can see that I started with my intro, then I moved into subject A, and as you can see this will be subject B, and then the ending. And I also recorded my mod wheel action, so again getting a bit louder. For a little bit of dramatic effect. And it couldn't have been easier than that. Now, I mentioned it on the Orchestra Complete 3, and I also mentioned it just before this, but the fact that you don't have to use your own sounds, and it makes it so easy for anything else to play what the Orchestra Complete has created for you. All you do is you export your MIDI. Now, in order to get it to be exported, you have to record it. Now, the easiest way to record is just to play it. So if I just play it, you'll notice here starts recording. Yeah, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to edit this now so that you will have seen that I've recorded the whole thing, so I'll just do that very quickly. Okay, so I've obviously sped that up. Now that's recorded, all you will do is basically just create 5 new instrument tracks. And then you take, let's go over here. You take around here, see where it says drag and drop, and you just drag and drop. And then just make sure it's aligned. That looks pretty good. And you have 5, as it were, versions of MIDI that you can get any instrument to play. Now, what I did, because I want the orchestra to play it and I like the sound of it, all I did was created a new contact and assigned different instruments to that. Let me just show you that very quickly. So as you can see, this is what I dragged in. I've color coordinated it depending on instrument groups. So I like to use blues for my strings, woodwinds green, brass sort of orangey. And we can group them accordingly together. And if you look at the contact here, I've got other instruments in it, but I will show you the first 3. So high string staccato, violas, flute stack, French horns, and low strings. Again, that's New Forces of Fury. And you get this. Let me play you the, as it were, in isolation. Put the flutes on top. So you get the idea. So the next thing I decided to do was load up another Orchestra Complete 4 and just to simply find something that complemented. I came up with Crimson Resolve. Okay, again, Forces of Fury. Again, dragged in exactly the same MIDI as above. And we came up with this. Let me just turn those off. So, and it came up with this. kind of dramatic. If I go beyond here. So very dramatic. So what you were given, more high strings staccatos, trumpets this time, and low string stack. So I did exactly what I did on the last one. I created 5 more instruments. I dragged and dropped. Let's see those. And here we go, high strings. I named them high strings staccato trumpet sus. And then I assigned them yet again. One thing that was a little bit weird, and in hindsight I get it now, on any sustain patch, it's literally going to play a sustain note forever and ever and ever, unless you release, which was kind of crazy, and it played every single note. So I ended up having to edit that quite a bit. In fact, let me just play exactly what it came up with. Let's hide that one. Again, in my old contact, if you look down here, after the first 5, you get all of these others that I ended up adding. So this was the second one. And I'm going to add in my others now, and it's going to become a mess, but yeah, sort of, it's got more depth, but anyway, that is not the end. Again, I color coordinated it and I tidied it up a bit, and I'll show you that now. So as you can see, I tidied up the sustains on the brass particularly and color coordinated. Yeah, so that was very simple to get to that stage. It probably had taken me 10 minutes, if that, to get to that. Just needed a little bit of tidying up of those sustains. And then, because as you can see, all these strings instruments, I try to make it as realistic as I can. So I can't have one, for example, first violin's playing 3 brilliant different things and cello's playing nothing. So I created some strings and I added some more brass, and this was what I came up with. So as you can see, I slightly reorganized stuff. Here I've got proper 5 string lines, and I've put it to bus, a strings bus now. So this is the strings. So I think I got rid of a couple of stuff just to make it, you know, sound like a cohesive string section. I then added a piano, didn't I? Me just plinking, plonking, basically keeping rhythm. I also added piano accents to this to go with the brass really, but this is what they were. Yeah, you can still hear the flute on the top. Yeah, I do love those piano accents. And then I added things like evil brass. I added a trombone section with a little bit of a melody. This was my brass section. Let's add the strings. Yeah, lots of popping evil brass underneath. So then all I wanted to do was just add a little bit more filling out to the orchestra. So I seem to remember I added some more winds. So yes, so here I did exactly what I did with the brass. Effectively what I did was I doubled up a lot of the strings with some woodwinds. So I put some, here's the old flute line. I added oboes. For example, the second violins were now doubling with the oboes, clarinets with cellos, bassoons with basses. So this was my wind section. I did some rips in a minute. So that really is just doubling the strings. Yeah. So you can see it's all beginning to take shape, really. Yeah. And then guess what I needed? Perc. So what I did was I basically dragged my old MIDI roll from my original orchestra, and I put it into yet another one, Orchestra Complete 4, but only wanted percussion. It became a mess, I'm just telling you. So I ended up just making it slightly more user-friendly by only having triads up there rather than a whole sustain patch. And what I did was I literally went in and I just typed in I put in percussion. I think I put animated orchestra percussion and I picked one. And I got rid of one of these because it didn't really make any sense. And snare drums and taiko ensemble. So this was what it was. So snares and the taiko ensemble, and then we had, sorry for the pop, and so what did I do? You guessed it, I dragged it down to here. So here you can see the snares and the taikos, and then the tubular bells, by the way, where were they? Here. Just there, I put them in a pitched percussion section. So let's get rid of that and I'll play you that. So just the tubular bells, snares and taikos from here. So I then added cinematic hits, toms and crashes. Let's just play a bit of that, just the tubular bells. These fabulous cinematic hits. Love that. So that's basically what I did. That's what I came up with. Now, in order for my computer to not struggle so much, I bounced everything down and then I mixed it a little. So here was the mix. Sorry, I suddenly realized I hadn't loaded some of the plugins I mixed with. But just before we get to that, these were all the bounces. As you can see, color coded. I've put them all to their separate channels: winds, brass, perc, strings. In fact, I did put a pitched perc later, but that's it. And it saves on my resources. So I did a bit of volume mixing, gain staging, whatever you like. And then I put just a couple of plugins just to give it a little bit more je ne sais quoi. This was that. So I have muted some tracks out. So for example, in the middle, I muted some trombones and I got rid of some of the taiko ensembles at the beginning. But this is just the flavor of the mix. So it basically sounds brighter. The snares are more snappy. I think I did something to the toms. What did I do to the toms? Just boring. Oh, I think I just added a little bit of snap and boom to the toms. This is without. With. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like snappy toms. Gives it that trailer thing. So that's generally what I did with the sort of each instrument that I quite like bringing out. So I like bringing out the toms. I like bringing out brass. So I use this. I cranked up a bit of. In fact, let's just play them on their own. Let's just do this section. So this is without it. With. Gives it a bit of edgy twang stuff. That was pretty much it. Now, then I put it all through an orchestral bus and I add this inflator. Why? Because I like it. Why? Just because I like it. More. Just gives it that thing. And then my typical submix on it. I carve out the lows of the sides. I just raise the sides a bit. I put it through a bus compression, just teasing it. Put it through this black box. A bit of saturation goodness, and then I just round it off with this still very old but very useful multiband from Waves. Which gives it excitement all the way through. And that's pretty much it. So without further ado, I think I'll just I'll play you the whole thing as it is. And this is the Orchestra Complete 4. If I find a picture between now and editing, I'll put the picture up just for a bit of reference. I didn't do it to a picture, but do you need a picture? Anyway, I'll find a picture. Here we go. This is the Orchestra Complete 4 Sonuscore. It's fabulous. So that's my very short cue. Yeah, the mixing's, I mean, it's very quickly done. I could have brought the brass out more and the strings might have been too present. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. It gives you an idea of what you can do very, very quickly. So simply from a piano roll to that, might have taken me an hour-ish. Yeah, I mean, I do work fairly quickly, but the point is you can do it very, very quickly. You just drag and drop, and you can get another orchestra to play it. That's the beauty of it. You can get other orchestral brands to play, whatever you want to play. So Sonuscore, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's one of the most inspiring instruments to get me started on any cue. If you want an orchestral vibe, or even if you don't, you could just get a synth to play some of these lines. That would be quite fun. So that's it, the Orchestra Complete 4. Once again, all the new stuff, a great addition to an already fabulous package. So that's me done. If you like this, please do give it a like. Your likes are greatly appreciated. And if you like what I do further, please subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll be notified of anything else I do in the future. So in the meantime, just so you know, it's not going to be another year before the next one. I already know what I'm going to do for the next one, and that's the previous instrument by Sonuscore. It's the Pulse. So keep watching for this one. See you very, very soon. Bye.